Welcome, comrades. What we will see throughout this guide will be a combination of tracking masks and color solids, following the movements of our reference, for which the video will be sped up, for reasons of time. Basically it is a system by rotoscoping or traced animation. I will show some specific parts, which may not be clear. Anyway, in the description I also leave a written guide for you to take a look at. We will be inserting different solids on separate tracks for each part of the character. You have to keep in mind that for greater and better customization, everything you do must go into separate parts, even if you think that several elements can be part of a single one. We lower its opacity to see our reference behind. You can also copy some parts of the character, like in this case one of the legs. Nothing else repositions according to what you need to do. Repositioning of the eyebrow. The right arm was below the eyebrow, so we need to place it in front of everything. Another important tip is to turn off the tracks in which you are not working the masks, because if you do not have a good computer, the program could break. A considerable amount of tracks takes up a lot of memory on your system. Keep this in mind. If it is you have a very complex character and he is going to carry too many elements, and therefore clues. In this part of the teeth I did not decide whether to do it with sustained frames or cutting fragments of the solid, since the teeth are not seen in the entire sequence. In the end I decided to cut it. Here we zoom in to better mold the corresponding masks. To do this, we control the approach of the camera from the master track. The frame where you have the original size and position, you should keep intact. To do this, you can move it to the right and isolate it from the rest of the frames that you will use for your zoom and camera position. This way you can go back to how you were before the zoom and change of position. We raise the opacity of each element to maximum once the rotoscoping is done. At this moment we no longer depend on our reference, but there is still a lot to do. To begin, we must change to the original colors of our character. We take the colors of the reference with our dropper. It is the fastest and most practical. When we did the rotoscoping, we created many non-existent frames of the reference. What does this mean? It means that we made use of interpolation in some parts of the motion sequence. Therefore, these frames, not all have been able to interpret where we wanted our animation to go. Therefore they became distorted. Now manually, so to speak, we must modify these parts of the sequence. The same happens with the masks. As you can see on the screen, it has not turned out well at all. So we must place it in a better way to fit our drawing. I call this part of the process polished animation. Here we will have to improve the eye. This occurs due to motion interpolation. Since the program did not have an exact guide on how to do it, it has decided to move it this way. So we put it as it should have been. And this would be almost the final part, that of creating the lines of the drawing. Many animators tend to skip this part of the process, since not everyone likes to outline their animations. Another detail to take into account is that many times there are scratches at the joints of each part. It's a good way to hide these lines, with the system you see in the video. Or you could create on another track a solid that is not the copy of the element A, delete. Something like a patch of the same color as the skin or clothing that covers that unwanted area. Once it is completely finished, you could create color variants to see how it looks. This can be very useful, especially for objects, vehicles, or some type of machine. I hope you liked this animation system. For the moment this has been all. We will see you soon. Thanks for watching.